Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Gavin from Rotating Cast, and if you're anything like me right now, you think VR is really fucking awesome and the final frontier of modding or whatever, and you want to push it to its limits. So I'm going to tell you how to bring custom environments from SteamVR directly into Half-Life Alyx. Before I really dive into this, I just want to thank and tell you guys all about the Half-Life Alyx Modding Hub Discord. This is the place to be. These are the people that are actually figuring this out. All of them are absolute legends. Alrighty, so the first step is definitely going to be going into the workshop and getting that asset pack I was talking about. This is the Half-Life Alyx asset pack. Has textures, has models, has a bunch of different stuff. You'll see here that they released some environments you can go into. If you want to kind of just check out Half-Life Alyx in general in these environments, but if you have the game, there's really no reason to do that. The asset pack is right here, and like I said, I'm already subscribed to it right now, so I do not need to, but you would just hit the subscribe button right there, and bam, you would have the asset pack available to you. Alright, so how do we actually start this? Let's do it, right? So you have SteamVR open, go ahead and go to Workshop, and go to create/modify an environment. Here is the starting screen for everything. Alright, so you're gonna see I have two add-ons already created here. This is just basically little test maps. That's gonna be what I'm about to show you right now. You go straight into create empty add-on right here, create a name, Half-Life Alyx, tut, create. Alright, now this is very important. If you downloaded that asset pack before, you're going to want to go down here to edit dependencies and click Half-Life Alyx asset pack. That is going to give you all the textures and all that new stuff that you just downloaded. It's what you want, trust me. Alrighty, and from there, we're just going to go ahead and launch tools. This starts up the software. You're going to hear your computer kick on because it's rendering. So right now we have the asset browser, and you will see all the stuff that we just ported in, plus some default stuff as well that's just there. But all the stuff that we just imported in from Half-Life Alyx if you did get that asset pack. And then this is just, like I said, the asset browser. You don't make the map here. To make the map, you go and you click the hammer tool right here. Alright, now this is where you create maps. If you've used Source Hammer before, this is going to look familiar. You go up here, you press New, and we are in a 3D work environment. We can start building immediately. This is it. You use right click to fly around, WASD to move, and you'll see you have a alternate window right here too for all that lovely stuff. So again, I am not great at this. I am not going to be the person to show you how to make a gigantic complex map, but if you ever want to create anything in Half-Life Alyx, this is where you're going to have to start. So as you'll see, I just create a rectangle right there to show that step by step. I go right here to the rectangle tool, click it, and then you just drag it out before your eyes. Beautiful. I'm going to zoom in right here, and you'll see we have little switchets so we can adjust the height of our object. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to make a room, which is the perfect way to just start really any level in any game. Just give yourself a room. As you'll see on the inside, you can't see anything. There is no walls, and that's because there are no walls being rendered on the inside. All the faces are going outwards. You'll see up here, when you click the faces options, you can actually select faces. Don't need to do that right now. That's completely okay. We go back inside, and there's a very, very simple way to inverse boxes, and it's beautiful. You press F. And that's it. You just have to make sure your box is selected beforehand. You can tell it is because it'll be highlighted yellow. All you have to do is press F, and that is it. Alright, we have a box. Technically, this is a map that we can import into Alyx, but you want it spawn. So let's make it so you can spawn, am I right? You got info player start right here. This is the spawning for SteamVR, and it just works perfectly in Half-Life Alyx as well. As you'll see, when you go back in, you can click down little guy, and he's actually a little Gordon Freeman. That's right. He is in our world, and we have a box that he lives in. So there's going to be two issues right away with your map right now if you bring it into Half-Life Alyx. There's not going to be any lighting, so it's going to be pitch black. and there's really nothing here at all. So what's even the point of having a map in the first place? And there's no textures. How do you add textures? So let's go ahead and start first things first with the textures. So if you download that asset pack, you can now search textures. So if you just put in floor, we got some floors. That's right. So if I went and dragged this, it would go onto every single surface at once, which is why I showed you the face tool, because now we select the face and it's just on the face, which is great. You can also change the size and everything of the flooring as well. I'm going to keep it as is because it really doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and put some on the walls as well. You get a nice, oh, voice crack there. Nice, beautiful wall. Yeah, I kind of feel like Bob Ross right now, just kind of painting some beautiful walls. Perfect. Alrighty. Now let's go ahead and make that first light. We're going to go in. We're going to make a light. I highly recommend you only use light spot, because it's really the only one that seems to work for some reason. As soon as you have light spot selected as your entity class, go ahead and place it. You just click and it is placed. Beautiful, am I right? Now we can go down. Over here you can see you have different movement diameters. This one is just your typical axis movement, and you can also move with the arrow keys. So right now that was up arrow key, right arrow key, left arrow key. You can just move it around like that as well, which is extremely useful. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and place this light a little bit back here, just so we can see kind of. And the most important part, if you just want to make sure everything's gonna work, just bake the lighting in. It's worth it. Might as well see what will happen. It's just a good way to just render that lighting right away, just so you know there's not going to be any hiccups. Alrighty, great. So there's nothing here yet. So what makes a Half-Life Alyx map a Half-Life Alyx map? Well, you need entities, and entities are weapons. They're objects that you can touch. It's everything from the game. They're NPCs. Anything that's interactable that you want in your map is an entity. And so far, people are trying to figure out what these entities are. Nobody knows every single one yet. For example, as of the recording of this video, nobody knows how to get the rustles spawned on your hand when you spawn into a map. But we have found a lot of them. Here's a list of them, of weapons, NPCs, and just some generic objects that you can find. Definitely not a complete list. I highly recommend going to the Discord to find more of this, because these are the people figuring this out. I'm just the one going on the Discord and being like, oh wow, these people are really smart. They've found all the entities. That's amazing. And now you might be asking, how do I place an entity? Well, let's go ahead and show you how to place an NPC. So if you go back here to where we made that light before, which is the entity tool, click it again, you'll see right here that you can actually type in whatever you want. And if you type in one of the entity names I showed you before, like NPC _ zombie, then when you click it down, a zombie will spawn where this man is. Essentially what's happening right here is the engine is creating an obsolete object because it does not know what you want. It does not know what an NPC zombie is. But when we load into Half-Life Alyx, an NPC zombie will in fact spawn right there, because the game at that point can recognize what you're looking for. And that's really it. So we could load this into Half-Life Alyx right now and it will be fully functioning. And I'll show you how. Obviously, if you know more about map making, you've created something more impressive at this point, or really anything, maybe you've ported something in from something else, this is how you get it into Half-Life Alyx. You go to File, you go to Build Map, you make sure Full Compile is selected. You should turn off Loaded Engine after building, because there's no reason to, because we're about to open it up in Half-Life Alyx. You press build and you press yes. Let's go ahead and name this anything. Let's just do Half-Life Alyx tutorial 1. Save. Alrighty, and now it has been created. You can see the destination path right here, so you can go find wherever it just shat that out at. And once you've located that folder, and that's going to be where it just craps that map out at, You're going to have that open, and also the maps folder in Half-Life Alyx. This is going to be in your common Steam apps Steam folder, which is just your standard Steam destination, wherever you put that. You're going to go all the way in until you find maps, and here are all the maps. You're going to see I have some in there that are already tests. That's perfectly fine, because we're just going to drag HLA tutorial 1 into this folder. And that's almost it. The last thing we have to do is we just need to make sure that console is enabled in Half-Life Alyx. You go all the way to set launch options, and you make sure that dash console and dash V console are both selected. And that is it. And from there, if you did everything correctly, it will work. All you have to do is go to your console, like you would in any other source game. In the command field, type map space and then the name of your map. And that is it, guys. You have a custom map all the way inside Half-Life Alyx. One final note I would highly recommend before you load the maps, just to make sure you're fully loaded into the main menu screen, or you might get some weird yellow glitches going on. I'm sure from here, the lovely people on the Discord and Valve themselves will figure out how to do more. This is the start. This is where you can start building. I hope you have a great day. Here's also some recommendations for some other tutorials that are more map tool focused, so you can learn how to build beautiful environments in Half-Life Alyx.